Everybody, welcome to the Blatantly Biased Racing Podcast. And you'll have to excuse me because I feel probably like McLaren right now in that I should be disqualified from this podcast.
Welcome to the Blatantly Biased Racing Podcast. Now here's a bald guy and some Indian.
Hey man, how are you? I'm so hungover.
That's what I was about to ask. I'm great.
Yeah.
How are you?
I mean, I was great last night.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah, not so great now, but sure, I'll be fine.
Yeah. So as soon as the race ended, I dropped you a message, and when I didn't get a reply, I knew. I knew what was going on. So
Yeah.
let the man live his life.
Yeah,
So you caught up with everything?
Yeah, I mean, I went to bed thinking, well, Lando Norris has this title pretty much sewn up now. Like, it's going to be almost impossible for Max to catch him. Like, Oscar is too far away.
Yeah.
And then I found out that Oscar got the cars disqualified so that he could stay in the hunt. So,
Yeah. There are so many tinfoil hats right now. On X, every fan base has a different conspiracy theory, and all of them are wrong.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it then. Let's start. Was it you who jinxed the whole thing? It was you.
Did
right?
I?
Yep.
I don't know. What did I say?
Yeah, you. If I remember correctly, you said that it's probably going to be a Lando win or a Max win, but we could have a scenario where Max wins and Lando has a DNF, and if it does, then really-
Because I kept saying, I kept saying just constantly, like, I'm not going to call this over until Vegas. Because I think
Yeah.
after last week, everyone's like, it's done. Like, it's 49 points. He's not catching. And I'm like, Vegas could be really bad. Let's just hold off until Vegas. Because if there's a big swing in Vegas, it's on, you know. And, well, I didn't think there was going to bed. And I woke up to a different world.
Yeah, because ideally the way the swing that we expected, it didn't happen in that particular manner. Because McLaren, again, I mean, I even talked about a bit on X where I said that McLaren got a bit lucky on Saturday because it was damp.
Yeah.
Because in dry, they were not in the same league as Red Bull and probably not as Mercedes as well.
Yeah.
George had the issues with the whole steering wheel and stuff. Otherwise, I think he would have been more competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that luck went up in the air.
Yeah, it
When
was
the whole
definitely
plan-
Saturday was a blessing in disguise for them, and then
Pretty much.
I was
pretty
kind of
much.
surprised as well that, like, even last night watching it, I was like a bit surprised that Lando actually held on to second place because I didn't think McLaren would be anywhere this weekend. So
I don't think
and
even they
weren't.
had any idea.
Yeah,
Oh God. So what was your first? I mean, you woken up. You probably how much? I think it's been a couple of hours for you when you've been able to digest everything that's been
I mean,
going on.
you know, I've been semi-conscious for a couple of hours now, and yeah, I literally I woke up at 7:30. I have gone back to bed since for an hour, but I woke up and literally I was like, I jumped on and I saw a few people talking about the championship being back on, and then I saw the chat that we have with you, me, and Sai, and it was just a ream of messages. And I just saw two things, which was, whoa, this makes it, you know, Max, or it was like Super Max from Sai. And I was like, what's going on? And then I saw something about Andy Kettle, which we'll talk about later. And I was like, what happened while I was asleep?
The world flipped upside down.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was quite weird. When first of all, let's talk about something that actually happened. Why McLaren got disqualified? It's basically the plank wear.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to them, they the limited running that they had. By the way, they had FP1, FP2, FP3. Despite
very
that,
limited
they claim,
running.
Yeah. I mean, they probably need a week of running. Maybe that would have helped.
Yeah. I mean, every other team managed to, I don't know how the other teams managed to get by with such limited running, but they did.
Yeah, but it's McLaren, you know.
Yeah.
Just the constructors champions of the season and the last
That's all.
one.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah,
It's hilarious because again, I think a lot of people pointed it out, and I felt that was the case in the race when you saw Oscar overtaking. There were a few moments where the car was bottoming out a bit on the straights, and the sparks were a bit too much. Again, that's very layman way of looking at things, that's probably not the best way to, make the judgment.
Yeah, because
But
sometimes you can have a
ultimately-
lot of sparks, but it's unusual for this track as well. It's unusual, right? Because it's not like I know it's a street track, but it's not like crazy bumpy. They've all been able to
It's
run
not
quite
bumpy at
low
all.
here. Yeah,
It's very smooth. So actually, that's what contributed to it. Since it was a smooth track, they kept the cars
Went too
lower,
aggressive,
and the purposing, it just returned, and that kind of played a role. It seems that again, it's the purposing that ultimately led to the bottoming out, and that led to the whole thing. What's very, very interesting is the limit was, I think it was 0.9 mm. That's what the plank where it's supposed to be.
I know that. The limit's 0.9, and I think
They went below
Norris
that.
was-
They went to 0.88 and 0.86.
no, sorry, the limit is 9 millimeters, isn't it, or 0.9 millimeters? And then
I think it's
9, isn't it?
it's
Maybe I'm
9.
wrong.
I think 9
Yeah.
or 0.9, something on those lines.
And I think Norris on the rear back was like 0.07 over and 0.12 millimeters over at the front.
Something
so like
like
you're
that,
talking
yeah.
tiny margins. And then
Very, very tiny.
it was very similar for Piastri as well. But it explains the lift and
Interesting.
coast that was going on last night that was a bit confusing.
In the end, just
Yeah.
again, that was first. I thought it was probably related to fuel. That could happen because Lando spent most of his race pretty much in the clean air. He wasn't really in traffic as such, so maybe that played a role. But again, it turns out it was plank. And once I saw that, I was a bit surprised by. I think it took them 3 hours.
Yeah, I
to
saw that.
ultimately reach
That's
the
the one thing
decision.
was strange. I was like, I saw people complaining, like, surely this is black and white. Oh, sorry. So I was guessing it was going on for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
surely this is one of those things. But I guess given the championship is on the line, they wanted to double and triple check everything, because if there's one mistake there, I mean, you can understand that, people are going to pile on pretty heavily. Like if they get
mean,
disqualified and it was the wrong call for some reason, it'd be like,
So let's talk about McLaren first, because I think again there are a lot of since the beginning of the season, and again we've had fan bases whining about a lot of things. But let's discuss one basic question first. Who do you think is the championship favorite now?
It's still Lando, but like, it's still Lando, but Lando needs to drive essentially like he's been driving for the past few weeks. Like, I know the turn 1 he made a mistake or whatever, but honestly, aside from that, like, he's been driving absolutely spectacularly. If he keeps that up, he only needs to like gain 2 points, for example, in Qatar on the other rivals, I think it is. And that's it. It's over, So mathematically speaking, and the form he's been in, and given we're going to Qatar and Abu Dhabi, which McLaren's pretty good at, I think he's the favorite. The problem is that at Qatar, Red Bull is pretty good too. And
Who won the race last year?
yeah, Max, exactly. And there's still like a sniff for Max now, a proper one. So he needs 12 points a weekend, but because it's Max and Lando's now under pressure, yeah. I know a lot of people will be saying Max. I still think it's Lando because I think he can just have one brilliant drive and just bring it home. Max
I
and
think that's
Piastri
the
have to do a
wrong
lot
way to
more
look
work.
at it, anyways, right? I mean, if Lando is looking at it in that particular manner, I think that's where he will falter.
Yeah,
Because it's not going to be just have one strong weekend and we're done.
it's going to be damage limitation for 2 weekends, right? That's going to be the key.
That's how you have to look at it. I think if ultimately they reach the final race with Max being 15 points behind or something like that, it's anybody's game. When
Yeah.
Vettel won the championship from Alonso and Weber, he was 12 points behind going into the last race of the season.
Yeah.
And that should tell you everything. The thing is, who wins or not is not even probably the biggest talking point. I think the biggest talking point is this probably one of the worst executed title campaigns that we've had in the 21st century?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not going to
mean,
go beyond that.
yeah, I mean, McLaren's been pretty awful, right? Like, I mean, this is actually one of those titles where even though like Norris had the slump for a good bit and like wasn't doing as well, you could say like, I mean, you easily could say like his title, if he loses now, was lost by the team because it's not just this disqualification. It's also he was the one with his engine going bang in Zandvoort as well. So, like, you know, he had a title basically sewn up at this point, and now it's gone. Like, I mean, to be fair, if this disqualification didn't happen, what does he go into Qatar with? It was 30 points ahead of
Oscar and 42 points ahead of Lando.
So all he would have had
Max.
to do of Max, yeah. So all he would have had to do is not lose 17 points to Max in the next race, and not lose 5 or 6 or 4 points, to Oscar in the next race. Like, it would have been one of the easiest ends to a title for him he could have wanted. And
in a way, yes. Sorry. In a way, yes, I agree with you. But I think overall, and I've only done a semi-analysis of this.
yeah,
I think in terms of executing a championship, I think it's been poor from all three of them. Be it McLaren,
I would
be
agree.
it Lando, be it Oscar. Because McLaren, in terms of operations, they've left stuff on the table every time. Whenever they are whenever there is even a little bit of pressure, they tend to crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, if it happened in 2024, it was understandable. That was the first time they didn't expect to be there. This year they were expected to be there, and still there are errors, and they shouldn't be happening. I mean, today what's happened, it's criminal. It shouldn't be
That's
happening.
really bad.
It's just not acceptable in any which way. And it's not even just these two races. There have been far too many occasions where the pit stops, when it comes to that, they have not been able to nail the strategy that could be used. I mean, the race in Japan was probably the best example, where Max arguably maybe had a slower car, but neither Lando nor Oscar was used to either undercut or overcut him.
Yeah.
And that's something, if you cannot do that, that's poor operational acumen.
Yeah.
You talk about Lando, I mean, I was just going through the list, the number of final quali laps that he messed up in the first half of the season. It's not 1, 2, there are far too many.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have races like Bahrain where he left points on the table for no reason. Just the jump start cost him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you look at Oscar in the second half of the season, he's just disappeared. After Zandvoort, it's not even the same driver for some reason. And again, a lot of people, they have the whole tinfoil hat where he's being sabotaged, he's not being sabotaged.
He's just not executing.
Yeah. I mean, let's just to touch on it. Why McLaren will not sabotage Oscar? There's one very simple reason. At this point in time, what McLaren is on a fact-finding mission. It wants to know which of these two drivers is going to ultimately become the leader of the team.
Yep.
This season, these two are fighting against each other for the championship. Next year, there's a possibility that Oscar and Lando, they might be fighting George and Kimi for the championship. And if that happens, McLaren needs to know which driver they can trust and ultimately put the entire resources behind it. So they won't sabotage one driver over the other if ultimately the other driver is the better one. It won't do that.
And how do they
it doesn't
feel
make any sense.
if they don't win the title now? Do they just not trust either of them, or?
I mean, I've said that far too many times that, again, all three of them have not. I can't. I think the last season, probably it's 2008.
Yeah.
Because in that season, Felipe Massa had a lot of errors, a lot of them. Lewis Hamilton, out of 18 races, you can say there were 12 races where he maximized the car. And in 6 races, he left points on the table. That's basically every third race of the season.
Yeah.
And that's not your typical championship quality drive you expect, right? And this season, if I look at Lando, Oscar, and McLaren as well, Max should not be in the title battle in any which way.
Yeah.
They've done so poorly when it comes to the overall package that it's astounding. How is he 24 points behind? It shouldn't
How
make
is he
sense.
level with Oscar?
Level with Oscar.
Is wild. Yeah, it's wild.
He has eaten up 104 points in 7 races.
Yeah, something like that. It's
Astounding.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember, the only other team to double DNF for skid plank wear this season is Ferrari. So McLaren, well done on emulating.
Yeah.
Arguably the best team in Formula One.
really, at what point? At what point are you? And you know the whole.
The car is red, okay? It's the best car. It's red.
Yeah, I mean Ferrari is another just complete
Yeah.
disaster. But that's, I mean, besides the point. Look, McLaren, they have some things going for them. They have two good drivers that will more or less get you decent results. And you can
Yeah.
see it in the Constructors' Championship where they have almost double the points of the team in P2, which is Mercedes. And again, great job. But that's not. I don't think people remember who won the Constructors' Championship.
No, because there's a lot of seasons where even I, as a fan, like we're pretty in depth in this, and there's a couple of times where I'm like, wait, oh yeah, Ferrari did win the World Constructors' Championship in 2008.
2008, the
forgot
best
about that.
example,
Yeah,
right? Ferrari
yeah.
won the Constructors' Championship.
No one
We
talks
still
about
talk about Kimi Raikkonen in 2007.
Yeah.
For one very simple reason, because Drivers' Championship matters. Constructors, again, it matters for the team and personnel. But yeah, no one really cares.
No.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if we want to talk about the title battle, I think let's just go through all three contenders here, because I think it's interesting right now because the body language of all three of them was somewhat revealing. I mean, Oscar was joking around after the disqualification because in a way he benefited from
He
it.
gained 6 points. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so just a blessing out of nowhere. And
Well, at least McLaren are making it fair. Just unfortunately, they're making it fair for Max as well. So good job on that, McLaren. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but Oscar is done, right? I don't see him being a factor anymore. I just don't. A lot of
No.
people said that the whole thing where again Oscar had a yellow flag in his final lap in qualifying, but even in the race he wasn't making the progress that I expected him to.
Yeah.
Leclerc should have never overtaken him. The Ferrari was not in any which way in the same league as McLaren, but he did.
Yeah.
And it's astounding because Oscar is driving like Lando used to, finding it hard to overtake, having poor qualifyings, and it's the roles have reversed completely. And you know what that does is it basically makes it Lando versus Oscar. Oh, sorry, Lando versus Max in the championship. And that's where things become interesting because I think we said it last week as well, right? That I thought Max is going to win all three races in the end, and he's won one of them. And I won't be surprised if he wins Qatar. He won Qatar last year as well.
Yeah.
And then you move to Abu Dhabi, and then anything can happen. It's basically you just put all your cards on the table, and then let's just see what happens.
He's going to need something to happen anyway. That's the main thing because he's still going to need something to happen. But my God, it's so much closer now. You know,
it's not even that he needs something to happen essentially, because Mercedes tends to be good around this track. It was good last year. It was pretty good even the year before that.
Didn't Lando come second last year, or was it George? I can't remember.
Leclerc came second.
Oh, of course, yeah. I always forget about Ferrari. 2024, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell. Oh my God, where was Norris? Was 10th last year.
Remember he didn't slow down on this yellow flag or something.
He got a penalty. If that happens this year, dear God, that's it. That's titles out of his hands essentially.
Kiss the championship goodbye in that case.
Ooh,
and that's why it makes it very
yeah.
interesting. Plus, Qatar also has the 20 lap thing in place.
25.
Where a stint
Was it 20 or 25?
Sorry, 25 lap stint. It's astounding, man. I mean, what are we doing? And ultimately, that's the question that comes to my mind. How is McLaren in this position? I cannot understand that. It's basically they're just gifting the championship away, and I can't.
It's unbelievable. Like, it's genuine.
Even Lando, honestly, what was he doing on the first turn?
Yeah.
Should he be making those errors? 2021. We talk about the championships, right? We talk about the 2021 championship. If there were moments where Lewis lost to Max or Max lost to Lewis, it wasn't because they were fucking up for no reason.
Well, there was Imola.
But then there was the hand of God, right?
Yeah. Red flag.
George basically crashed into
George and
Bottas.
Bottas, two Mercedes Toto sign drivers, just conveniently crashed. And we'll find out later on in some point that Bernie Ecclestone somehow knew about it.
Yeah, 20 years later.
Yeah.
When Bernie's still alive, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, he's not dying.
No, he's going to be frozen soon, I reckon. They'll
I mean, I
keep him
still
around.
remember 2007 or 2006 when I first saw Bernie Ecclestone on television. And I looked at him and I said, he's not going to survive 5 years. And it's been 20 years since then.
Yeah.
He looked fragile then. He looks the same right now. I mean, he's
Yeah.
basically been eternally old ever since
I'm
I've
sure
known him.
he's being injected with the,
Everything.
with
Everything.
youth. Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
A tiger's blood is the only thing that's left at this stage.
Yeah. He's on Sheen's compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how does Lando recover from this? Because I think he is probably the
Wins
one
in
who's...
Qatar. That's how he recovers from this. That's what he needs to do. I think if he, genuinely, that's it. Like, he just needs to come back with a strong Qatar. He either needs to win in Qatar or he needs to just make sure he is a very close second so that the points loss is minimal going into Abu Dhabi. But ideally, if you're Lando, you want to have just a spectacular Qatar because if you can sew it up there,
That's
all
it.
this goes away.
Yeah.
You know, that's
He
it.
wins Qatar, that's it. That's over,
That's
right?
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he DNFs in the sprint and Max gains 8 points or something, which
Yeah.
given Austin could happen. So, but yeah, ideally, if you're Lando, you just want to win in Qatar and and that's it. It's over. But yeah, otherwise you're gonna have a very tense Abu Dhabi. So
I'm all for it.
as
think-
viewers, that's
Yeah.
what we want. But if you're Lando Norris, you don't want that.
Just imagine you on Sunday we have the race and you have Max and Lando on the front row. You know Max is sending it.
Yeah,
Everyone knows Max is sending it. It's like whatever you want to do, I'm going to outbreak whichever point you pick. I'm going to outbreak you.
Unfortunately, Lando doesn't have the same instincts as, say, a Senna Prost, where he'd just go, "Oh, look, we crashed on the first lap, and I happen to be ahead by 15
by
points."
the way, imagine if both of them crash and Oscar is behind them and Oscar ends up winning the race.
Oh yeah, yeah. Although it will be even worse for Oscar though if there is that scenario and Oscar happens to have lost 2 points in Qatar, so he's out of contention.
Oh.
Loses the championship by 1 point. That would be.
Oh
Yeah.
god, yeah. There's so much on the table here. But yeah. But we'll see what happens. Ultimately, the best thing for me is I was slightly deflated with. First of all, I was slightly deflated with the race, how the whole
The race was
place.
incredibly boring.
Not fun.
It was
Secondly-
literally, I don't remember anything past lap 1. Like,
I mean,
when
yeah,
you
there were
said, I
fun
can't believe
moments.
Leclerc overtook him there, I was like, oh, did that happen? Like, I
I
genuinely
mean, it's
don't.
it was late for you, right? Plus you were drunk. So
I was also
I can
about
understand.
12 points in. I'm thinking about that right now. Jesus Christ. Continue. Let's move
Yeah.
on quickly.
Exactly. The race in terms of that, it was okay-ish, but
It was boring.
It was the anticipation was not there. I mean, I knew after 10, 12 laps that Max was going to win.
Yeah.
And then when ultimately there was Lando and George, they were going to battle. Lando, I think George had an issue. Then he stepped back. And then you had Ferrari basically sleeping and McLaren undercutting them and helping Oscar jump. Everything was just so funny. The entire race, it's hilarious. Leaving that aside, I think one thing I wanted to talk about. What's your take on the whole thing? Because I saw you probably didn't see this thing. The race ended and you had the whole 15-20 minutes of nonsense. I call it nonsense. People call
Oh,
it the
yeah,
part of
like
the
the
show.
drive over, the interviews,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I kind of switched. Like, I switched out at that point to the point where I think I watched the podium. It was on in the background, but it was just like they were doing the interviews, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this now. Like, you know, I don't need to watch this.
And even in the interview, they had the whole. I think the guy that was in Avatar.
Yeah.
Sam something.
Sam
know the
something
name.
American-y, doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, after kind of lap 20 as well, I was already starting to check out because it was just like, oh, nothing has happened. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check back in 5.
Not much was going to happen after that. I think after the first pit stop, it was done.
Yeah.
I think the track is fine. I don't mind the track as such. I think the whole vibe is not there when it comes to Vegas. It doesn't really work for me. The show element, I can see it, but I don't know. Maybe I don't relate with it that much.
I think
and
that
I've
the
found
show,
myself-
yeah, I'm the same. I don't relate with the show as much, but the show for me didn't bother me when we had two exciting races, because last two times we had exciting races. So like do all the shows you want if you have an exciting race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could have a 30-minute interview talking to Beyonce about how she feels the cars look, and I wouldn't give a shit if we had an exciting race. But when we have a dull race and then that's your like thing afterwards, I'm
selling,
like,
basically?
yeah, it's like
my whole point was, what are we selling here? Because the race
especially
was,
with how much people pay for the fucking. That's an expensive
apparently
race.
not much, it seems. Because
Really?
So Katie Fairman wrote an article about this, and she was questioning what's the logic behind holding a race in Las Vegas in these conditions. Ultimately, they are chilly, and these are the conditions that might suit fans who are diehard fans. But Las Vegas is a place where a diehard fan is not going to be there for obvious reasons, and then you priced people out of it. They can't come. So in that case, again, there are events that are happening. There are a lot of fashion events that happen. There are a lot of, you can say, high net worth stuff that usually happens. But is that going to be your target audience? Then
Yeah, you're right, I guess, because really what you want is you want a really glitzy, like sitting by the racetrack, like drinking wine, like eating food, watching it go by, gambling on the side of the track, like. Yeah. That's kind of what you'd want, not like sitting, freezing your balls off at the fucking pit straight.
And rain.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, rain.
Yeah.
In these conditions, rain is just the last thing you want.
That was insane. It was a very good, like that's one thing I can forgive Las Vegas for. It was probably my favorite qualifying of the year because it was so ridiculous. Like it was beyond ridiculous, but yeah.
I loved it. I mean, plus also one thing that stands out, only one driver crashed.
Yeah.
That's it. And in those conditions, only one driver crashing is... Sorry, what?
And it wasn't Lando, the bottler in chief.
It was Albon, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just touching on that, because it made me question what's the point of the whole thing. And I think there's a lot of... And again, I'm just getting back to the Katie Fairman article. So according to her, it seems that the entire novelty behind Las Vegas as a F1 venue, it seems to be fading. Because they're struggling to fill the seats, and you have to question what their revenue model is,
isn't it? Because unlike every other track, they've actually bought land here and built it. So,
in that sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not.
It is their property.
It's not like a promoter. They can just go, "Sorry, guys, it's not working out."
They are the promoters.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
The problem,
They need this to work because it's a big event. I guess not hugely. I guess they can just sell off the land. Like it's not the end of the world, But
yeah, you can do that, but it's not really. Why would they do that if they've invested this much, right? Ultimately, if they're investing this much, they want at least 4, 5, or 6x of a return. Yeah. Then it makes sense for them to do something on these lines, especially when a lot of people don't know. When you know the source of money from where they actually get these things done, it's not. They are not the most honorable places.
Now, come on now. Don't be saying things like that. I think that's a bit unfair now.
Is it?
I think the Americans are a reputable country.
No, in terms of the sourcing of money. From where
I know, I was joking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, just one thing I wanted to know. Let's discuss it a bit. Is this one of the worst title campaigns? What are the worst title campaigns in 21 that you can think that is probably worse than this one?
You mean like from a viewing point of view or from the actual challenger? Because from the viewer, it's quite interesting.
From viewing, it's fun. I mean, for me, it's great. We've had, 7 different teams on podium and a lot of other things in terms of quality.
Jenson Button. Because
I mean, you can say that.
Like that was a situation of built a load at the start and essentially was just hanging on for dear life to the championship until the end. In fairness to Jenson as well, a lot of that's, I know there's a lot, like he talked about it in the documentary, a lot of it's to do with the tires and so on, but also in fairness, that team was never supposed to win, so it was always going to be a hard second half of the season for them when Red Bull could upgrade and so on. I mean, obviously all of Vettel's, because he's just a car merchant, we all know that. Vettel fans, by the way, for anyone watching who hasn't gotten that. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean,
from 2000 onwards, take a pick.
Yeah,
I thought about it. Thought about this a lot.
Because all of Schumacher's no. Alonso's were brilliant. Kimi Räikkönen was just entertaining because he just kind of came from nowhere.
Because the
and took
quality was
title.
there. They weren't making these errors, right? These pretty fundamental errors that we are seeing right now.
Alonso and Hamilton just threw away a title. We all know that. 2008, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it, like, I hadn't really thought about this. I guess because 2008, like, there was excitement at the end and it was Lewis winning and, like, it was a big thing at the time. But I guess when you think about it, like, in retrospect, it was a pretty poor title battle from both contestants. Like, neither of those stood out as, like, you know, oh, what an amazing title win. Like, it was kind of you know.
I mean, there were races where both were good. I mean, Lewis had his moments. Massa had his moments, but if you look at the season altogether, and I mean that's the thing that stands out for me. Kubica won a race. Alonso won multiple. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
he won the race in Fiji on his own, but even the race that he won in Fiji, it was a result of Lewis just dive bombing and basically putting all the other drivers to one side and then making it a Kubica versus Alonso race battle. You don't see these kind of things in high quality battles, and it's weird. And I thought about it a bit to a certain extent. I'll probably do a bit more of a quantitative research in terms of how many points they've lost in all, because they've lost a fuck ton of them. But it might be the worst one in the 21st century, looking at the way they've gone about it. In terms of the car they had, and in terms of they've lost 104 points for Oscar in 7 races.
Unless Max wins the title, in which case it's one of the best title battles from Max's point of view. Like in terms of campaign,
but
it's
one
spectacular.
has to suck so much for him to even be in contention.
That's the
problem.
other side to it. Yeah.
It's basically they're tripping over themselves and handing it to Max, and the optics are poor.
Max has the fastest car, though. I thought
He has the fastest car, but even then you should be finishing P2, or even in the race. If Lando had held on to the lead into T1, I don't think it would have been that easy for Max to overtake, because overtaking is not the easiest thing here.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
True.
It
wouldn't have mattered anyway, I guess, in the long run.
Touche.
You know. Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about Mercedes then, because
oh god, yeah, let's do it.
No, it was brilliant. They had a double podium this time around. Afterwards, I mean, after a handful of people ultimately disqualified, but first of all, George finishing P3 ended up in P2. That was good, and Kimi Antonelli from P17 to P3.
Pretty amazing. Yeah.
Do you think he's now more or less there? Because I think he's finally found his groove. I mean, he's not, as you can say, consistent, because he fucked up in qualifying. He should have been higher up.
If only he had to qualify better. You know.
There are a couple of comments in the post that I put together. It was specifically him.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. If only he qualified better. But even then...
Antonelli did a really good job. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's his rookie campaign. It's on a track he's never been to before. I think, especially in those conditions as well, you know, it's... I don't want to bash on him too much for that. I mean, he did a spectacular recovery in the race. So, I mean, look, I think the thing is, Antonelli has all the factors you need to be one of the greats going forward, to be a person who can fight for titles. You know, he just needs to be more consistent. But the only way to be more consistent is...
in terms of he has all the faculties, because...
I guess. I'm just saying, like, I think he clearly has the pace, and I think he clearly has he has the talent. He just needs time, I think, you know? And I think... I think people need to just give these rookies a bit more of a break. And I think also Antonelli hasn't been helped by the fact that the rest of the rookies have been pretty amazing this year. You know, so it can make him look bad. But we do need to remember, like, these rookies don't sit in testing like they did years ago. This is literally their first time running properly around the track in these cars, you know, like all these times. So I think he's going to get more consistent. I do think that could be a problem for George as well, going like in the future, or for Max in 2027, depending on who's in the seat. But I think he did a really good job, and I think clearly something has changed over the last few races. And I think maybe it's a case of Mercedes have just kind of backed off a little bit and let him kind of just push without worrying about damage and any of that stuff, you know. So yeah.
How many podiums has he scored this season?
4?
I think 3.
3, is it? Is this one
Canada?
Yeah.
The one in the last race and the one now.
Yeah, you're right. Where am I thinking 4? I'm not thinking straight, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 podiums already. How many has Lewis scored?
Oh, if only he had a qualified better. Dear God, yeah. What a... Is that the first time in his career he's gone out, like finished last in qualifying without an engine or without a problem, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first time a Ferrari driver has qualified in 20th on pace since 2009. Giancarlo Fisichella, who was a stand-in driver.
Who we're comparing. That's who we're comparing him to. Interesting. So he's got the unenviable comparisons now of Fisichella and who's the other guy who never scored a podium with?
Didier Pironi.
Pironi.
Most races before he scored a podium, because I think ultimately maybe one day Lewis will score a podium. So I'm
but
sticking with that one.
Well, that's if he's still in the car. I mean,
it's bad.
And it depends on how bad Ferrari are next year, remember? So, you know what I mean?
Maybe Leclerc would not even be on the podium. Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah, like there's a situation where if Lewis doesn't score a podium in the next 2 races, there's a situation where he does end up like another driver who never scored a podium with Ferrari, which 100 million quid a year, well spent.
It's not a case of another driver who didn't score. He will be the first driver who lasts in an entire season and doesn't score a podium. Even Capelli did it with, I think he had 15 races and he was fired subsequently. Lewis is the only one who's gone on for this long, 22 races, and not scored a podium. Boy,
it's yeah. I mean, look, you know, the stock's up, isn't it? Oh no, never mind. The stock went down because
10-15% something down.
It's not actually tied to the driver, for anyone who is wondering.
What does Ferrari do from here? Because again, one of the biggest thing that stood out here was even in the race. I think the chronology is important because a lot of people might not have seen what happened throughout the weekend. So on Thursday was the first time when drivers faced up in front of the media. And that was the first time when both Lewis and Leclerc were questioned about John Elkann's comments. Now, Lewis was quite diplomatic, and again, both of them are briefed by the PR team, right? But Lewis he more or less played the party line and that, okay, XYZ things are being done, this is the situation, etc., etc. Leclerc wasn't. He said the things that he was supposed to say in terms of what he was told, but the tone changed. It got a bit aggressive, and then got a bit more aggressive, and then the PR lady had to step in and say that no more questions on this. So that was the initial, you can say, that's how the weekend began for them. Friday was pretty good for both of them. I think Leclerc was P1 in free practice 1. He was pretty competitive in free practice 2. Then came the rain and everything just fell apart. Yeah. Lewis was nowhere. Leclerc was P9 or P10 in qualifying. And then he just completely blew the lid in the media. He came out and said that he said, I'm pretty good in rain. Throughout my junior career, this is where I've distinguished myself. He said in the last 7 years since I've been at Ferrari, the car just doesn't work in these conditions. And the reality is that Ferrari in wet is a disaster anyways. The last time they won in wet conditions was 2012 with Alonso. They haven't since then. And once this happened again, the question was put to Fred Vasseur, whose answers are, he's asked SX. He answers why.
If we had have executed on our potential, we could have won the championship.
Same nonsense, yeah.
Yes.
And the entire
if I had
situation
executed on my potential, I'd probably still have hair right now. It doesn't really help, you know.
Exactly. The dumbest words is potential here. And again, you know, then came Sunday, and again, by the way, on Saturdays when Lewis was not upbeat, he was clueless what happened. Then came Sunday, and you had Leclerc basically making his way through the field. He should have scored a podium if Ferrari was not sleeping.
If Ferrari was any other team, like that's, I mean...
He overtook Oscar Piastri on track, and Oscar just undercut him, and they were sleeping. They did nothing.
It's just
Astounding. And then Lewis also had a pretty shitty race because he had a few mistakes that ultimately meant that he basically was fending off Esteban Ocon at the end of the race instead of looking forward and trying to jump Nico Hülkenberg in front of him. It's
a solid investment, I would say.
That's the problem because Ferrari right now has two drivers that are not happy. One of them is not happy because the car is shit. The other is not happy because his teammate has pretty much ran him into the ground. The way Leclerc has gone about things. Because look, Lewis, he knows one thing now. It's 22 races and the excuses are done. Now he cannot come out and say that there is still more adaptation that needs to be done.
The problem is that no other driver that switched teams has taken this long to get used to the car and to kind of, get on top of things and not make these mistakes. Like every other driver who switched teams has dealt with this. And you're talking about the one driver who is statistically the best driver in Formula One history and is the highest paid driver by the team on the grid. So, like to say like, oh, well, I'm still adapting to this or whatever. It's like, well, Carlos Sainz is in Williams. He's doing pretty all right. Like, he just changed engine. He changed engine. He changed team. Everything exactly the same. And he's doing pretty good, So the argument will be, well, Albon's not Leclerc. And sure, that's fine. That's fair enough. But Hamilton's not Sainz, like by the same logic. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're going to make one argument, you have to make the other. So if you're going to say like, it's Leclerc, it's like, okay, well then why did they bother bringing Hamilton in? You could have just kept Sainz. There's no reason. If you don't want him to be the team leader and the guy that can put Leclerc under pressure, then why bother? Like what was the point? There's
and
literally
the pay
no
package
point.
that you're giving him.
Yeah,
the big problem is if you're...
especially when it's not actually helping the company at all either, because for Ferrari to get good marketing out of Hamilton needs to be doing well. It's not a good look when Hamilton's sitting at the back out in qualifying in Q1 in Las Vegas. Like that doesn't sell cars, and like I know we had this discussion, but like these sales are not direct. These sales are like you're building a branding exercise over a lifetime here. And what you want is people who are watching now, who are fans of Hamilton, who in the future have money, go, fuck, remember that? Like, oh, the Ferrari name, that's my memory of this, And they're not getting that. Instead, they're going to get a memory of, fuck yeah, that's the car he really didn't do anything in.
Yeah.
I'll take the McLaren, like that's...
Exactly.
So
there's just nothing. And the problem for Ferrari is they have one headache, which is the car and the team is not performing well. The other headache is that the second driver is he's nowhere.
Yeah,
it's become pretty poor the way the whole thing is going on. And again, he was questioned. And again, both drivers. First, Leclerc was quite angry. When he was questioned that, okay, were you not aware that? Apparently, he fell back more than 5 seconds to Kimi. And if he hadn't, then he would have finished on the podium. But he said, look, do you have any... And this was his quote that, do you have any idea? I was able to stay within touch with all of these guys because I was in Oscar's DRS. If I was not in Oscar's DRS, I didn't have the straight line speed to even compete with these guys. And that was the reality. And again, not many people realized it because even I noticed one thing. Once he fell more than 1 second back, he kept falling back. He kept falling. He just couldn't really compete. And that's just the car. The car sucks. Basically, the reality is it's not competitive enough. And
the team sucks. That's it. Like, there's just... Enough is enough now. Like, they just need to... I don't know what they need to do, honestly.
At the same time, when the rumors surfaced from Leo Torini, who is basically one of the veteran Italian journalists, that Leclerc has been approached by Aston Martin and probably a couple of other teams. These were the rumors that surfaced just a day before the race weekend began. And whatever happened this weekend, and even before that, Leclerc didn't seem like a driver who was going to sit and be the obedient guy who was going to listen to everything that Ferrari, the top brass, is going to say. Yeah. He's going to ride his own... He's basically going to control whatever he can. The results come or don't, and ultimately he's reached a point where I think the frustration has gotten a bit too much. Maybe it's gotten to his head that this is it. It's not going to improve. Yeah. And it's showing to a certain extent. The other side, Lewis, I don't know what's going to happen here because the way he's talking, I mean, he had this quote, as Sai shared that right in the group that I'm not looking forward to 2026. Why? If he's pretty down in terms of his motivation and everything, and if that is the case, I don't think Ferrari is the team for him to be in because no one lends you a shoulder at Ferrari. They basically,
no.
that's a team which isolates you.
The problem is, like, you know, you can only control your controllables, and like that's what Leclerc does so well. It's like, okay, the car's shit, but I'll just go out and maximize it. Like it's what George and what Max do so well. You know, like no matter where the car is, they just tend to, most of the time at least, deliver like what they can out of the car. And that's where, like, Lewis is kind of, it constantly feels like he's just on a wing and a prayer, hoping that the car gets so good that he can finally do something. It's like, yeah, but like, you need to be performing regardless of where the car is, you know, so that you can say to the team, okay, look, I'm doing my bit, like, give me a car, you know. But it's like, it becomes very difficult if you're sitting around in P20 and going, hey, give me a better car. And they're like, why would we listen to your feedback? You can't drive this car. Like, you know, like, just, yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's inevitably going to end. And I wish someone had seen this coming.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
Sorry,
right?
I'm just looking around for anyone who didn't see this coming, and nope, don't see anyone.
Vettel fans, Alonso fans, anyone but Lewis Hamilton fans, they basically
anyone
saw
with
it
common
coming.
sense saw this coming, essentially, because
what a disaster.
It's historically baked in. I mean, you know,
I didn't even expect it to be this bad because
I didn't think it would be this bad. No, like I thought bad would be he'll get one or two wins, but like Leclerc will destroy him. And
yeah.
Well, one of those things came through. The other thing, not so much.
I mean, wins even didn't come for Leclerc either.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're coming anymore. Now Ferrari's fourth in the championship, their worst finish position, and next season.
But next season they could be quite good because I've heard that they've got a very specialized aluminium
pistons
head
or
thing that
whatever,
they've made that's really good, and a top secret air intake system, which, as we all know, is the kind of thing that makes things fast. You know,
it's top secret.
Yeah, if it's top secret, then yeah.
It has to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course.
Oh, God.
That's the kind of BS that worries me about Ferrari. Because
it doesn't change.
When you no,
it's
like
the same fucking cycle by the
if I heard that they were
again
like
and again and again.
Exactly. If I heard like, oh, we're pretty confident in the engine, but we're not really sure where everyone else is, so we'll see. And you know, we've made some good strides on the chassis, but you know, we'll all need to line up. If I heard that, I'd be like, oh, I think Ferrari might actually be okay for next year. When I hear we've got a top secret air intake system, I'm like, you are fucked. You've got nothing. You have nothing. If they show up next year, by the way, and win due to some top secret air intake system, I will say that will be the funniest thing in the world, though.
Yeah, but it's a bit like
it's not
when a broken clock is correct twice a day, right?
Even a Ralph Schumacher is right twice a day,
yeah. And Ferrari hasn't been right since 2008, so maybe this time it works.
And even 2008,
that's their entire philosophy. It seems it's basically every time we'll do the same nonsense again and again, and maybe it clicks. It doesn't work that way, and I don't know. Seems weird. Seems completely weird because where does Lewis go from here? And I think at this point, what he's thinking is, okay, I'm at Ferrari. This thing is not working right now. Is he just going to double down and just work hard here and hope and pray that things work? Or is he either going to retire or maybe take a call on doing something else?
I mean, I think it's just retirement. Like, I mean, where else does he go? Because after this performance, like, you're not going to another top team. You know, like, there's no way. Because, like, if you're a Mercedes, a McLaren, a Red Bull, whatever, even if you had a spot opened up, right? It's not like Hamilton's going to say, oh, I'll drive for you for next to nothing. Like, he's going to want his full fee. So why, like, what upside would that have for you? You know, like, there's just no reason. And none of those teams need it. Well, maybe McLaren, actually, because, you know, they might be down after not winning the championship with either driver this year. So maybe they'll go, get Hamilton back in, see can we win him the title next year. That'll be, everyone will forget about the whole thing last year if that happens. I don't know. Maybe he goes and becomes the F1 race director. Brings it all full circle.
That would be fun.
It would be
That would
hilarious
actually
because
be
you know
fun.
what, Abu Dhabi, we'd all be sitting there. The camera would be on him on the last lap, you know.
Yeah.
Him just going, I'm not manipulating anything. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Or he could start a podcast.
he might.
Yeah,
It would
him and
be
Michael
again.
Massey. Be amazing.
Yeah. We went racing. We went car racing.
Yeah, Going Motor Racing is the name of the podcast. All right.
Yeah, you saw the whole thing with the corner.
I wish my brain wasn't so dead. I'm sure there's a better name, but my brain's just like, it's, like just cobwebs and just like an oil. All I'm hearing is like a
Jesus.
door that hasn't been oiled,
Maybe by the end of the podcast, we'll come up with better names.
Just the end of the podcast will just be me like splurting out Massey's manipulative podcast, and it's like, that's terrible. Let's go.
Talking about manipulated stuff. So, rumor has it that Aston Martin is sacking Andy Cowell.
Yeah. So can I just, what's your thoughts on this? Because obviously you've had more alive time than me to go through this stuff. But so I'm hearing a couple of different rumors, right? The obvious one is Christian Horner, right? The other one is Andreas Seidel, right? And for me, honestly, like if you're Aston Martin and you're losing Andy, like you're firing Andy Cowell for whatever reason, the only reason to do that, in my opinion, that's a good reason, is like you've got someone like Horner who can come in, which is what I said before. Remember, I was like, the way you bring Horner in is you're basically going to have to lose Andy Cowell. I don't see any world in which you lose Andy Cowell for Andreas Seidel, because I think Andreas Seidel is a good team principal, but he's been at two teams where he's failed to deliver. So why would they bring him in now? Like,
He succeeded at McLaren, right?
he didn't really, though, did he? Because he left, and then Andreas Stella came in, and then they won the constructors pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so like he
took the team
continuously
from,
failed to bring the team up.
to P3, P4, whatever.
Yeah, and I thought that was why it was a good idea for Sauber as well, because he seems like a guy who can get you kind of from the midfield, kind of up to the front of the midfield. But if you're Aston Martin, that's not who you want. You want a guy who's absolutely, capable of delivering a championship. And the only person that you can actually go like, this is the guy we can rely on for that, is Christian Horner. And he also happens to be the one who's available. But Newey won't want him there. Explain. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, that's all I have to say. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, there are two different sources from where the thing has leaked. The first is from formula.hu, which is a Hungarian outlet, Hungarian-Austrian outlet.
Okay.
The second is from Benson, BBC. That's your British outlet. So the British outlet has reported that Christian Horner is in the running. The Hungarian outlet has reported that Andreas Seidel is in the running. Both have reported that Andy Cowell is out.
Yep.
Okay, so first thing is the rumors or reports of Andy Cowell being fired is there. They are pretty true. He's probably going to be... The way Aston Martin does things is they don't fire them outright. They move them to a different department and then ultimately release them. So that's the fate that ultimately awaits Andy. The problem that we have here is, if Christian Horner is coming to the team, he would want a stake and he would want a controlling right. So check one thing. In Aston Martin Racing, what's the stakeholdership right now? In terms of how much does Lawrence own and how much is owned by the other parties?
Yeah, let me find out.
I think the data would be available.
Yes, I think the PIF owns a good bit, right?
I'm assuming yes, but let's see.
So Aston Martin Lagonda has a 4.6%. I'm trying to find this. This can't be right. One sec.
So there's an equity firm that owns a minority stake, Arctos Partners. There's a Chinese firm. Sorry, it's Aston Martin Lagonda. It owns 13%. The PIF owns 17%, and Lawrence Stroll is the majority stakeholder.
Yeah.
And then Adrian Newey as well.
It doesn't, there's very little about the actual like full on breakdown.
Percentage.
But yeah.
But Lawrence is the majority stakeholder. So while that is the case, it means that if Horner is making a move, he'll probably make a move trying to buy at least part of Lawrence's shares.
Yeah. With the backing that he had as well, it wouldn't really surprise me.
1.4 billion.
Yeah, I mean, even if he comes in with less than that, I wouldn't be surprised if he could like get up the capital to buy 20% or whatever. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if
20% will be how much?
Probably close to $1 billion, maybe 800
How
million,
much?
something
How
like
much is
that.
Aston Martin worth? It's
I can.
It's not.
Oh,
worth
you're right.
that
Actually,
much,
sorry.
right?
Yeah, it's less. Yeah,
It's-
I'm thinking
it's-
of.
it's less than 2 billion.
I can tell you right now. I have literally. I did a video on it recently, so I've got all.
Yeah, it's less than 2 billion.
Where is this? Where the fuck did I put this thing? Here we go. Nope. God damn it. I really need to organize these better.
3.2 billion.
3.2. That's what I thought. Yeah, it's somewhere up there. So it's a lot more.
3.2 billion, and if the 20% would be around 640 million.
Yeah, which is feasible given his backing.
It's a lot
like
as well.
that would be enough to say like, right, I've got a decent say in this, you know, like, and
Yeah.
then do what Toto did, like you slowly build up after that. I wouldn't be surprised if Lawrence Stroll would be okay with that, because it'd be like, okay, well, the guy comes in, you know, and essentially he gets a good enough stake that he's going to really build this. And also, like, what Lawrence Stroll really does need is someone who's actually delivered championships before and can come in, look at the whole thing and go, this is where you're, you know, lacking and here and here. And plus, I mean, it would be literally bringing the dream team home, right, of Horner and Newey. Sans, you know, sans Helmut Marko, which is ideal, basically.
Max. I don't think Max comes.
No, if Horner goes, I don't think Max comes, because I think Horner will be like, yo, you can come, but your dad is never allowed in the garage. So
Yeah.
I think
Basically,
that would
not going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I can
could
see
be the
Horner.
case,
I
yeah.
just don't see Seidel. I don't see
Seidel
Seidel
well.
as an upgrade. Like, I just don't see that. Like, I think he's a very good, like a capable team principal, but
Yeah.
for the ambitions that Aston Martin have, dropping Andy Cowell for Seidel just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I don't see
Zero
the
sense.
reasoning.
Even
Yeah,
I agree
so
with that.
Dropping
for me-
Andy Cowell for Horner, that makes absolute sense to me.
That's the whole thing, right? I mean, if you're talking about things being plus, you know, if Cowell is being removed, and I think this would be pivotal for any driver who's looking to move to this team. If Cowell is being removed and he's being removed and replaced by Andreas Seidel, I think that should tell you a lot about the Aston Martin trajectory, because it would not
Yeah.
be positive in that case.
No,
In that case, it is a scenario
wouldn't.
of, because in that case, what has happened is, and Andy has probably pissed off a few people, Lawrence, with some of his handling or not being that compliant with whatever Lawrence wants. And if that is how Lawrence wants to run his team, then that's not how he's going to win in Formula One. And if that
Yeah.
is how things are going, then I'd suggest drivers not to go to Aston Martin in that
this
case.
is why I think I think the only logical reason is for Horner, because I just think, like, it feels to me like with the Newey hire and the way that went down, like, Lawrence just wants to win, and he's just that guy who just says, like, I don't, like, if you're gonna hassle me, that's fine, and like, if you're winning, like, you can argue with me, but if you're arguing with me and saying shit and not delivering on track, then get out. Like, you know, I think he's
Yeah.
that kind of black and white guy. Like, we need to remember he comes like from the fashion industry, which is pretty black and white in that direction. It's like, you know,
Shady, is
essentially,
it?
yeah, like, it's like if you're delivering, you can do whatever the fuck you want. If you're not delivering, you can't. Like, get out, you know. And I think that's
Yeah.
the way he runs it, which you know, that can be a good way to run an F1 team at times as well, you know. But I think at the moment, it just makes more logical sense to me that if you're removing Andy Cowell, it has to be for Horner, right? Like, I don't see why, because just even if you were belligerent and you just wanted Andy Cowell gone, surely someone like Lawrence Stroll knows that basically hiring Seidel is akin to bringing Otmar Safnauer back. It's like you're committing yourself to, okay, we'll bring someone in
It's
to
not
keep
an
us in the
upgrade,
midfield.
basically.
Yeah.
You're bringing someone who's going to be a yes man, and
Yeah.
it could possibly a case of, and because Andy Cowell has not been there for a year either, right? He just joined last season by the end of it, and he's gone within a year.
Yeah.
Let's see. ultimately, look, it comes down to one very simple thing. If it's Horner, and if he ultimately look wherever Horner is going, he's going to be a stakeholder. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
If it is Horner, Aston Martin is probably going to be your next dominant team in Formula One.
Yeah.
If it is not Horner, we are probably looking at a scenario where you might want to probably start shorting your whatever stocks you have in Aston Martin, because I don't think then the trajectory
We are not a
is in the right
financial
direction.
podcast. These opinions are simply opinions of casual. So
Yes.
just for banking
sure.
regulatory reasons.
Yeah, you think people are going to look at that, right? If you are looking at it seriously,
listen.
whatever Jason said just a minute back.
Yeah. Look, some people get their medical advice from Joe Rogan, so let's not let's not overestimate the intelligence of our audience. Yeah, you idiot. You know who you are. Anyway, so
Okay,
but
final
I guess
topic.
we'll find out soon. Yeah.
Okay, the final topic, because I think this is something that probably pisses me off more than anyone else. This weekend again, Lauren Mekies, when they do their whole qualifying debrief, he started with first of the clip that they put out. First of all, I want to start by apologizing to Yuki. And this has been I think the same clip has been there in Sao Paulo, where they forgot that they had a 10-second pit stop, that they had 10-second penalty that they had to serve. They didn't. They had an error while serving it, and then Yuki had to come back again. And then after that, he basically ran at the back of the grid. Then you go back to Mexico, and once again, he was basically just kept out so that Max could be advantaged. And then you go back again and again. You had Lauren Mekies apologizing to Yuki. I think I'm forgetting for what. It's okay, fine. You want to prioritize Max, fine. Then don't judge your second driver against him, because you are putting the best driver in Formula One right now against a driver who everyone knows is not on the same level.
Yeah.
But you're also handicapping him in every fucking way possible. And then he should be within 3/10 of Max. Are we kidding ourselves? I mean, where's the logic in all of it?
There is no
They
logic.
just don't want to learn. It seems that they just don't want to learn, because what's going to happen is by the end of the season, Yuki is going to be fired. I can bet my bottom dollar.
Yeah. I think
He
it's a
will
done
be
deal.
fired, and then you have Isaac Hadjar, and he will come in, and then he will be pretty much subjected through the same nonsense, and then the cycle will continue to repeat until Max leaves.
Yeah.
And that's Red Bull right now. Complete nonsense. There's zero sense. Where's the logic?
I don't know, but like the bigger concern is just I'm not bored of your answer, by the way. I'm just incredibly hungover.
I'm not offended.
Just explain to anyone watching who's like, that Jason guy's a bit of a prick. Which, I mean, that's true, but not for this specifically. I don't know if you saw.
Do you get a lot of comments?
I love that, like, literally I shouldn't say this behind the scenes stuff, but I rarely look at them. You may have noticed that Casual's the one who always responds to these, but I love that, like, randomly you always like ping me one or two where you're like, by the way, this, and I usually just drop in with like a 1-word answer or just a wind up. It's usually just Dutch ? This, but I think the last one was you should go outside or something. I can't remember.
No, it was. Yeah, what you said. I'm not going to go into what was.
No, I got called a racist, which, I mean, nothing new for this podcast, but look, it's all helpful.
Yeah,
It's
you
getting
found
me
the sweet spot, right?
Yeah, it's getting me, hopefully getting me a running gig on the Piers Morgan podcast or something. But yeah, like
Boy, that's one wild character.
But yeah, I knew that was basically going to like be a brilliant one, because as you pointed out, it was like you got comments from separate people. One of them saying I was too hard on Lewis and a racist, and another one saying I wasn't going hard enough on Lewis. And you're like, well, I've done the right thing then. Yeah. But I think I just told him to calm down and go outside. I can't remember if I actually responded. Oh, I remember now. I think it was read the first line of your comment, decided you were a pointlessly angry person, and didn't bother reading the rest. Go outside and have some fun. Because it was an essay. It was like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous.
I'm more than welcome people writing essays. People should write
you
more of
like
them.
it. Yeah, I just yeah, I just don't have the
I
attention
love the
span.
discourse. If
Yeah.
until it's respectful. If it isn't, then it gets a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my channel, I do love the stuff that I get though, because I've had on the documentary channel, I've had literally within like a minute of one another, had literally, this is the best documentary video on JFK I've ever seen on YouTube. And the next one is, you should really do research or stop making YouTube videos because you're fucking useless. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that summarizes my YouTube comment standings essentially. Just like,
Oh
okay,
God. Yeah.
cool.
As I
So,
said, the sweet spot, right?
yeah.
You
exactly.
need to have both the extremes. They both and both of them are angry at you.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
where you need to operate.
That's what you need. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can build a cult. It's very easy to build cults.
Yeah,
Anyways.
we should just do that. We should just turn this into I don't know.
Yeah. What was it? The pit stop. The one that the Lewis Hamilton podcast.
We could just do that. We just pick a driver.
Pit stop. Whatever. I don't remember the name.
We'll just pick a driver and then
Just glaze him.
We'll call ourselves the official Lando Norris podcast or something. Given everyone seems to think we're Lando Norris.
The problem
fans,
is
so.
all those kids, when they hit puberty, they stop being fans of Lando. That's the problem. Jokes, guys. Anyways, moving on to questions.
What about the Beyonce breast podcast? We could do that. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Move on. Moving on.
Okay. The questions.
Yes.
There are a few of them, I think.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's begin.
Yeah, there's a lot. Jesus. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah. Exactly. Fantastic
hungover.
Frog 200. I
Okay.
bet Max is abjectly ruining Spain right now. If he would have just taken home fourth, Max would only have a 13. Yep, exactly. And again, this is what it's going to come down to, because Max lost around 7 points in Jeddah. Yeah, overall he's lost 29 points. And if his deficit to Lando is less than that, these things are probably going to pop up for sure.
Yeah.
So Fantastic
But-
Frog, you are 100% correct.
In fairness to Max as well, though, he did say, "Yeah, look, that's F1, though."
Yeah.
I wonder, will he be saying that if he does lose the championship by like 6 points, though?
Of course he will. He's in this way is similar to Michael, where it's never his fault.
That's true. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, so next is Dane Lua. It's for Jason, by the way. Jason, it seems you jinxed on what you said to Max this weekend. Max title chances will depend on what happened. Oh yeah, we talked about it here.
Yeah.
You basically jinxed it. See,
I didn't
Such a
jinx it. I just called what would happen.
Yeah, and it did.
By the way, just Vince 1998 or 1988, brilliant comment. Max putting 69 on his car next year. Thoughts? This is because
Good
Max
number.
wants to get a 3 on his car, because they're allowed to
He's-
change their numbers now. But basically, the problem is that Daniel only left a year ago.
Yeah,
So
it's foolish, by the way, changing number now, because MV33 is a big brand.
yeah,
This is my marketing head talking. Yeah. CPB 1998. Okay, yeah. So now that it's established from my last question that I meant prime Michael Schumacher driving for Mercedes in turbo hybrid era, which driver from his era, which is 90s and 2000s, do you see being his teammate? And what teams in the turbo hybrid era could you see the other drivers from his era competing in? So basically, if I'm not wrong, he's asking for the top 3-4 drivers that would be there. So if you're talking about Michael and his teammate from that particular era, I think it's again going to be someone like Barrichello or Eddie Irvine, which is subservient teammate who are not going to ruffle too many feathers, to put it mildly, right?
yeah.
That's how he would ideally go about it. Okay, which driver from his... Okay, and what teams in the turbo hybrid era could you see the other drivers from his era competing in? So basically your top 3-4 drivers. I think it's the same ones. Mika Hakkinen would be there.
Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi, Alonso, Montoya. I hate to say it, but Ralph as well. Ralph was decent. He wasn't that bad.
No, he was definitely a better driver than he is with sources of news.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. He's become the gossip aunt. in such and in some very pathetic ways, because every time he's wrong. I mean, I remember I tweeted this, that if Ralph Schumacher says that the Earth is round, I might end up becoming a flat earther. 'Cause I think I might. Red Robin 1122. I think this. Yeah, I think the 7 points in Jeddah and 9 points in Spain are gonna be the reason Max loses the championship. Touche. Possibly.
I'm Brazil.
Yeah. I think, but
Well, we'll
Brazil
see.
goes more in the. I think Brazil still goes more to the team, right? Because they couldn't really figure
of
out.
course, yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem here. Luke. Yeah,
Which
go for
one,
it.
Luke? I was going to say Flaky saying congrats to Pirelli's wet tires for finally being useful. If only
yeah.
the race was, it's a fair point I hadn't thought about. The broadcasting team once again fucked it up and showed us signs for half a lap. I guess they fell asleep too. Also, how funny Lawson didn't get a penalty for the collision at the start. Since it's Vegas, we have to gamble with marshals on track under green. That's the point. They're also still incompetent to properly weld down the manholes. If the wet tire is that fucking thing that works, you have a problem. And this race showed everything wrong with F1 and America for that matter. Do you agree? Yes, I do.
Not about America, because there are worse things when we talk about being wrong about America.
I think the worst thing America has going right now is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Surely there's nothing worse than that. I guess Stella
There's
and
the same.
McLaren are serious about sabotaging both drivers, so none of them win the title. FOM can now jerk off to Abu Dhabi finale, and can't wait for the shenanigans in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, agreed
Cheers,
with
Flaky.
all
That
of
was
this.
actually a fun read.
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah. But he's right. I mean, not about the worst thing that's wrong about America. I mean, Las Vegas doesn't even come close to that.
I think it's up there. The rest is all noise.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Luke Wilson. How does setup change the characteristics of a car and how it drives?
Because
So
if you
you
put
want
the
to take
back
it
wheels
first?
on the front, then things change massively.
Well,
No, you're going to
great
cover
job.
this one because my brain is not intact for this. So this is
Yeah.
all on you, buddy.
So, so when it comes to setup, it's basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to fix the angle of the front and the rear wing to a certain extent. Then the stiffness of your suspension. I'll keep it very, very layman. Something a bit of, you can say, the manner in which you are trying to set up a car. It depends on track to track. So there are
Yep.
tracks which have long straights. So if there are more straights, then you want a lower downforce setup because you need more top speed. And if there are tracks that are similar to, you can say, Monaco, Singapore, there you need higher downforce. There you need a higher wing. You have a flatter wing in that case. So
Yeah.
roughly that. If you want more details, just ask the questions, whatever specific questions you have, I'll answer.
Cool.
Sushi CR7. Do you think Ferrari can be harsh enough to remove Lewis before 2026?
Yes.
Bro is breaking
They won't
unwanted
do
records.
it, but yes, they could do it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past. I don't
Depends
think
on
they'll
how the
do it,
last
but
two races are.
yeah, and also how annoyed John Elkin gets. But they could do it.
Yeah, you
I
cannot
mean,
put anything past them, isn't it?
Yeah. I
And
don't
they have
see it
a
happening,
replacement
but
there. Yeah.
it could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Chihiro. Hey guys, what's up? He's drunk. I'm good. Double McLaren DSQ
I'm not
for
drunk. I'm
Blanco.
hungover. There's a very different.
Apologies. The same was for Ferrari in China. We saw after that penalty, Ferrari had to race their car in many races to avoid that risk. Do you think McLaren will have to do the same in the final races? Not necessarily. It's not. Also, wasn't it Fernando who said something about many cheating with their floors after Brazil? Love. Okay. Cheers, guys. You are amazing. Cheers. So when it comes to Alonso had said something similar, and again, the tinfoil hats, they've just ran with the theory that the McLaren is cheating apparently. So McLaren is not cheating. it seems that the excessive purposing played a role. And again, it can happen. It's not something that's
It's a
systemic
very
with,
high-speed track as well.
yeah. And it's not something that's systemic with the McLaren.
Yeah.
Not at all. Because similar tracks we've had in, I'd say Jeddah is somewhat similar when it comes to the high speed sections. I don't really see that being a major issue. For me personally, I think the next two races, Plankwear is the least of the concerns because they've been on those tracks before. The conditions are not as challenging as they were
It's
here.
also higher downforce, less straights. I don't think it'll be a problem.
I mean, yeah. Plus, they have enough data as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a concern. If there have been 22 races, if
Can you keep answering the questions and just give me a minute?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So next is from Groganson. Hello, have a good Sunday, guys. Yeah, having a good one. Almost done with it. First, could you say that Sainz at Williams is now doing what everyone expected of him? Yeah, 100%. Or there is still room for improvement? Also, what are the next steps for William to permanently move up the order? It's the facilities. Facilities are the main thing. There's still a step that they need to make. They haven't done that yet. They are revamping the facilities, but it is going to take some time. So that's why they've set a target of 2028 or so. So probably by then they'll be in a situation to basically fight for championships. Until then, yeah, it's more or less fine. When it comes to Sainz having some room for improvement, maybe with consistency, I think that's one thing where he might need to work. But other than that, I think he's more or less there. And to a certain extent, you see Alex Albon also panicking when it comes to that. So what happened to Lewis in qualifying? Was there something out of his control or did he do a mistake? Did he want to honor the anniversary of his legendary quote to wind up Jason? Well, if he wanted to honor the legendary quote, he would have actually done better in the race. He didn't. So that's where the whole thing didn't really work out for him. What happened to him? He was just slow. Honestly, he was just slow. There's maybe an element of the bollard that just getting stuck in the car, but we don't really have any conclusive proof that it stayed there. Even if you remove that particular lap throughout that session, he was not on par with Leclerc, and that was quite obvious. So it's just he was slow. Finally, really impressed by Antonelli. Remember the weekly discussions on Oscar's tire deck issues in 23 and 24. Meanwhile, Kimi pulls out the stint and still has space left in the end. Or maybe Pirelli are just incompetent. Pirelli are incompetent, yes, you can never deny that. But still, to a certain extent, I'd say we still need to see more from Kimi. He's getting there, but he's not the complete package. And the complete package is on the other side of the garage in George. So yeah, there's still some work needed to be done, especially when it comes to this. Okay, so next is from Dane Lua. First is
I'm alive.
You're alive. So the next is from Dane Lua. Given in this Las Vegas Grand Prix, George Russell would be disappointed that he did not win. Given this should be a Mercedes track, could you see George and Mercedes, and yes, I'm including Kimi, in the last two races be okay? McLaren. So basically, the question is, could we see the Mercedes drivers being a factor in the title battle, where you have the other three drivers?
Yes, especially at Qatar, probably, right?
Yeah.
Less so at Abu Dhabi. But yeah,
100%.
I think so.
Casual fan, you are right about Kimi Raikkonen fans hating McLaren, because I know someone named Crystal Racing, who is now known as Dom Deng. Okay, and he's a Kimi fan and still is pissed about McLaren, and so is Kyron Smith. I know a lot of people who are Kimi Raikkonen fans that hate McLaren. So yeah.
Not surprising.
Wins 1988. Table got flipped on its head again. Just like you guys predicted. What a season, right? Pure cinema. 100%.
Yeah.
By the way, rest in peace to Lewis and his 20 laps behind Ocon. If only he had qualified better.
Yeah. I love that that's become like a staple of this podcast now.
I mean, it's supposed to, right?
Yeah.
How many times you said that?
Yeah.
Max putting 69 on his car next year. Thoughts? Good choice, but I doubt it's something that would happen.
No.
Okay, so final question, I think. Yeah, final. Ahmed Fabli. So first is thoughts on Lando revealing that Vettel is mentoring him right now. Even after years, Seb still finds a way to haunt Weber.
That's brilliant, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me, actually, if it was when Lando started losing, he, like, you know, fire up the jet, I've got to go beat Weber again. Let's go.
He is doing that, by the way. It was some interview where Lando revealed that Vettel is... he's continued
explains
to be
a
in
lot,
contact.
maybe, as well. Maybe after Zandvoort, like, his mentality. Because Vettel would be a good guy to be in your corner for that, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. What are the chances of Piastri doing a Tottenham 2016, which is getting a third place in a 2-horse race? He's already third, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
which
not
is
coming
insane.
back. I doubt he comes back. By the way, it would probably be the funniest thing if from the position that we are right now, Oscar Piastri ends up becoming the champion. In the next 2 races, he just switches on and he dominates the next 2 races.
After all this talk about Lando and Max and then
Yeah.
Oscar just, yeah.
Okay, tinfoil hat conspiracy. When Fred says that Ferrari changed almost the entire car, it's because because the SF54 had reached maximum performance. I don't buy it. I genuinely believe if you give SF24 to McLaren or Red Bull engineers, they're going to reveal that there are big performance gains that could be made, and Ferrari are just being Italian. Yeah, agreed. That pink Cadillac and the Mickey Mouse show are sure something. I mean, yeah, it's a show. I just say it's a show.
Yeah.
Great recovery from Antonelli and decent one for Lewis, I guess. If only they qualified better. Edit. Oh boy, I just finished my job when I see double. Oh, so he
Posted this
Okay.
before the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
True.
Amazing.
That's fun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, we have Qatar Grand Prix night now. It's wow. As we were talking, there are two more questions. First is from Shivam7704. I think that's Coffee Head. What are your thoughts on Kimi's false start? Harsh. I think it was harsh. He wasn't, maybe just moving a bit. Who is going to join Aston Martin to replace the team principal? I think Horner. I think if they're smart, Horner. If they aren't, then Andreas Seidel.
Yeah.
So yeah. Jason, can you please cast some more of your mystical devil Irish witchcraft on Norris? Your spell work is certainly strong. Upon Lando hex him with a mighty curse of total epic reckoning. I recommend
I'll
you
save it for
cast
Abu Dhabi.
Negative dexterity. Thanks.
I'll save it for Abu Dhabi. Let's see how
Yeah.
Qatar goes first. But yeah.
Hey, if he ends up winning, then what? Then we are screwed.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If it does, it does. So Qatar Grand Prix, what do you expect? By the way, it's going to be limited to 25 lap stints for the
Yep.
tires. And you have 57 laps. So basically they're going to be 3 stoppers. Also, the sprint will be how many laps? 1/3.
Yes.
98.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so in that case, there it won't be any. They'll just pick one of the tires and just run with it. What do you expect in terms of the picking order?
I think McLaren should be strong, but so should Red Bull and Mercedes. I don't expect anything from Ferrari.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good starting point.
Yeah. I mean, we should just
life.
put Williams in the top 4 now and be done with it. I think probably I would expect it to be Red Bull followed by McLaren pretty closely for some reason. I don't know why, but I've got that feeling. And then Mercedes.
Yeah.
But McLaren should be fastest around here. I just don't think they will be.
I thought McLaren would be fastest, but then last season Red Bull won, and in qualifying Max had the edge, And then in the race, he basically managed everything.
Yeah.
This season, the car is better when it comes to when you're comparing both of them. And once that is the case, I just don't think that. I think Max should have the edge. And I also think that if somehow Max finds himself on the front row, be it P2 or P1, he's going to send it basically on the first lap, and from there,
It wouldn't surprise me.
managing everything. He doesn't. I don't think he's had the mentality of that he has anything to lose, pretty much throughout the second half of the season, and that's been the difference.
I think he knows as well. He needs big wins now. Like, it's not. He can't just like cruise to like 2 wins. He needs to really upset
String
Lando
things together, yeah.
And, So
But yeah,
Yeah,
let's see. Your prediction, top 3?
Max, Piastri, George. Let's keep the title interesting.
Max, Piastri, George. Oh, yeah. I think it's Max. I think it's Max, George, Piastri.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Mercedes would be decent enough in qualifying, where they basically qualify ahead of the McLarens, and then George just manages things from there, and Max just goes ahead and wins, dominates.
Yeah, I could see that.
Cool. Guess we're done.
All right.
That was a
I
short
can't believe I survived this, mostly.
one. Yeah. Cool.
I had to duck out for a minute there. My apologies.
Yeah. All good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Don't forget
guys.
to subscribe.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Hopefully we have a better one next time in
Yeah.
terms of the race. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Take it easy, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.